Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Benita Fitzgerald Mosley. I'm here to moderate our discussion with the all-time great Jackie Joyner-Kersee this morning. I just want to welcome all of you that have joined to participate in our experience this morning. And I also want to join anyone who has joined us via YouTube from all over the world. So thanks this morning, bright and early. Let's get started. Just a little bit of introduction. First, Jackie and I will introduce one another, and then we'll introduce the participants, and then we'll get to our curriculum around winning in life. So, Jackie, where are you?
Hey, good morning. How you doing, Bonita?
Good morning.
Good, yes.
Good morning. This is a woman who absolutely needs no introduction, as you know. She's a winner of 6 Olympic medals. I'm just glad to call her my teammate and friend for so many, many years. She's considered by ESPN as one of the 50 greatest athletes of all time, athlete of the 20th century by Sports Illustrated. And, she won back-to-back gold medals in the heptathlon, the first woman ever to do that. In one games, actually, she won both the heptathlon and the long jump. She set world records in both and many times. And I'm just so happy to have you here with us, Jackie. Good morning.
Good morning, Bonita, and good morning to everyone out there. And thanks for that great introduction. And so let me share a little bit about who Benita Fitzgerald Mosley is. She's a 2-time Olympian in track and field. She won Olympic gold in the 1984 Summer Olympic Games in the 100-meter hurdles, named Female Athlete of the 20th Century from the state of Virginia by Sports Illustrated.
Yeah. Hey. Of the world, okay, just Virginia. So
but hey, to have that honor, not too many people can claim that. So anyway, since retiring from sport, she has led several organizations in the nonprofit sector, including as CEO of the Youre Sports for Good Foundation here in the USA, the COO of U.S. Olympic and Paralympic Committee, and the Chief of Sports for USA Track and Field. And she is currently the management consultant and senior advisor for the Proteus. Is it Proteus?
Proteus.
Yes, yes. International and 17 sports. And now it is my pleasure to introduce each and every one of you to my good friend, Benita Fitzgerald Mosley.
So you guys, what I want to do with all of you participating in the experience today, I would love to have you each say hello and tell us a little bit, where you're from, your name and where you're from, and tell us one, we've got gold medals, that we've gotten, of course, around our necks, but I want to know what gold medal you're most proud of in your life. What is the achievement that you're most proud of? So right now, unfortunately, I can't see the participants. Oh, there we go. All right. So I'm gonna just talk to you guys as I see you up on the screen, if that's okay. So Christine, if you could go first, introduce yourself, say hello, and tell us where you're from, and give us one highlight of your life that you're most proud of.
Absolutely. First and foremost, thank you guys so much for hosting this session. I'm Christine. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States, and I live in Florida right now, in Naples, Florida, and absolute heroes. I remember watching you guys at the Olympics, and so thank you. I mean, as far as my own highlights in my own life, probably my first school award for writing. That really cemented just an ideal and a goal inside me. Thank you.
The passion in you, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great. Des, good morning. Hi, you're on mute. Make sure you unmute yourself before you start.
I've got it. Sorry. Good evening. I'm in Sydney, Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So our night is about to finish. We're way ahead of you guys. So
well, thanks for joining us so late.
Yeah, that's okay. It's absolutely worth it. It's a privilege to be able to be in your guys' presence. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
For myself, I was lucky enough for to watch or be in the Beijing Olympics and see Sally Pearson in the athletics win the gold medal for Australia.
Oh,
So,
yes.
The hurdles,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yeah,
I never got
quite a
the pleasure to compete against her. She was a little just after me. We were, yeah.
Yes,
Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a great honor and a great privilege to be in the stadium. Yeah, as she won. So yeah, very good.
I see L. Landtrip, so not sure what your first name is. You got to
Sorry, I'm using my mom.
No
I'm
worries.
using my mom's computer, but I didn't know how to change it. My name is Bree, and I'm from upstate New York. And first of all, yeah, like Christine said, I really want to thank you guys for this opportunity, because if this was an option, I like screamed and I'm like, oh my God, super excited. And I guess my most
Where are you from? You said upstate New York. That's right.
Upstate New York, yes.
Yeah. Probably just being able to compete in track and field and all of the things that I've been able to do, because I brought like my bibs as some of like material kind of things that represent that. But it's weird to have like my proudest achievement be from high school, but
That's okay.
probably like winning states in high school was probably
yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's a thrill. It's such a thrill. So absolutely, anytime in your life, it doesn't have to have been, yesterday.
All right.
All right. I see AKAKYAB. Not sure.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Just say
No worries.
That's a mistake on Zoom. I guess my proudest achievement is that I used to help people with their careers and manage them, and I had clients win every award from Academy Awards to BAFTAs and you name it. But the thing is, I'm transitioning to doing more creative stuff myself, and I guess I'm most curious about, because I so admire your accomplishments, is how you guys kept your focus and persevering when you got frustrated, and how good enough was never good enough for you, and how you kept pushing that extra percent and that extra percent when everyone said, no, you're doing good enough, but you never accepted that good enough.
Yes. Well, you're going to hear Jackie especially talk a little bit about that. And if we don't answer the question directly, you'll have a chance to ask it again. So please hold on to that. All right.
Thank you. This is really exciting.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We're excited too. All right. So I see two people on the screen. Yes. Your names?
Anna, Chantal.
Hi, Anna. Hi, Chantal.
Hi. Sorry, I was having issues logging in from my computer. So we joined together, but I'm having a complete fangirl moment speaking with both of you. This is so exciting.
Hey, I have a fangirl moment every time I talk to Jackie. So
Stop it.
Anna and I are both working at the International Olympic Committee here in Switzerland, but I'm from Baltimore originally, so to see two female American track and field legends is just an honor. And I think one of the thing I brought with me that I'm quite proud of is it's also a race bib, but it was from the first running race I did after having my son, because it was really symbolic for me to regain that part of myself that as a new mom, like I had this new identity of being a mom completely thrust on me that I still don't know much about. So to have like a race where then it was this re-stepping back into a part of me that had been put on pause for a moment was really special. And it was a really hilly 10K. So that made it extra sweet.
Well, Chantal, I know we know each other. I think you may have been the first one to sign up for this experience.
I was really excited.
So you get the gold medal for signing up. Well, it's good to see you, Chantal. Anna, how about you?
Well, it's actually the reason I'm here is because of Chantal. So we both won opportunity to join one of the Olympian virtual experiences. And Chantal today was like during our workout saying, hey, I'm doing this one at 3:00 Central European time. And I was like, well, that just sounds amazing. So I sort of thought about also what I want to bring. By the way, I'm from Croatia. We're based right now in Lausanne, Switzerland. And yes, I definitely watched Jackie compete in 88, and it's also like sort of intimidating a little bit to see you on the screen on my private phone. And I remember your nails. Is that like that was like that was amazing to me. I was like, oh, look at this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I was a rower. I was a rower for 10 years, so it's a different sport. But I think it was one of the moments when you realize that female athletes can also be very, feminine and strong very much at the same time, especially because rowing was very much seen as a very male sport in Croatia, where I come from. So anyway, that was the reason I'm here. And I also brought my achievement. It's not a certificate, but it's actually a case study that I did in 2017 on gender balance in the IOC and advancing women in the IOC.
Wow. And I've been on the Women in Sport Commission for the IOC
for 8 years. So
I saw that report. Awesome job.
Yeah.
All right, Lily.
Hi, it's so great to be here.
Good morning.
I grew up doing track and field, so this is like a dream come true to be with childhood athletes I admired so much. So thank you. I'm calling in from New York, and I guess an accomplishment. When I was younger, when it was allowed, I hiked up to the Hollywood sign, which was like a lot of effort, and it was really exciting. I still remember that moment. So
That's awesome.
Glad to be here.
That's a big hike.
It was big. Yeah, it was intense.
A lot of effort. Yeah.
All right, and then there's one more person, and you have headphones on and a white tank top, but there's no name. You put yourself, you're on mute. You're on mute, so take yourself off mute. The bottom left-hand corner, there should be a microphone. If you click on that, the X will go away. There's a microphone at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If you move the cursor a little bit, you probably see it. Do you see a microphone? If you see a microphone, go like this. Can we hear you? Go ahead and say something. No. Do you see a microphone? You don't see a microphone? Say, if you don't see a microphone, go like this. Can you hear me? All right, I think we're going to have to move forward because I unfortunately, okay. All right. Well, we're going to get moving with the experience. So what I also wanted to talk to you about, Jackie, after she finished her career as a competitive professional athlete, she founded the Jackie Joyner-Kersee Foundation in East St. Louis, Illinois, her hometown, where she actually currently resides. And she's, really just committed to ensuring that all children have an opportunity not only to play sports, but also to learn the life lessons from sport. And so she's going to talk to you a little bit about the curriculum, Winning in Life, that she did from a book that she wrote a few years ago. And it's from those tenets that we're going to kind of walk through a bit of that with you today. So Jackie, turn it over to you.
Well, thanks, Bonita. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone and some of the questions. And I just want to touch upon you're not good enough, never, how you continue on. So my life work is based off of my history in the sport, and then also the things that I wanted to do off the field, and kind of graced this autobiography that helped formulate the curriculum called Winning in Life, and based around 14 different principles. But one of the questions that was asked around, never giving up, and that's my life story. No matter how great others said I had become. I had to always try to reinvent myself or to be in a position like I never had. And so growing up in the community of East St. Louis, and people always saying nothing good come from our community. So my mindset coming through a community center, and once that center was closed, where do the young people go? How can I help them? Taking from what I had learned from sport and putting it into my work beyond the athletic field. And so Bonita and I will delve into some of those principles that I think can apply to that question around focusing and never giving up, or how do you stay with it when others think that you have achieved enough. Being one-time Olympian, my goal, if I was out there, I wanted to be the best. And that's why I was able to make 4 Olympic teams, because they were my goals. And just having the right support around me to achieve those goals on the field, and also the work that I'm doing now in the community, is having that same type of support.
Well, the winning in life principles are, they have dedication and commitment, self-respect and critical thinking, wellness. Like you said, there's 14 different ones. We just picked 3 or 4 today.
Yes.
Actually, combined 3 into 1, so it's probably 5 or 6 that we're going to do today. But the first one is confidence. And I think there may be a slide that it has a little thing on it. I'm talking to the production team now. Yeah, there you go. It having self-confidence is being, okay, I can't really read it. Anyway, the bottom line is okay, there we go. Is a feeling of self-assurance based upon a belief in our own abilities. So it's, we really wanted to talk about, the fact that the same is true in sports. Little by little, both Jackie and I experienced more and more success in track and field. The more we achieved, the more our self-esteem increased, and the more our motivation increased. So make us work even harder. So it was this nice cyclical thing. You get better, you feel better, you're more motivated, you work hard, you feel better, right? You achieve more. And so for me, it kind of started a little bit earlier in my life. Before I even started running track, I had 2 great parents who were both educators, and they believed not only in, ensuring that you did well in school, but to make sure you were exposed to all different kinds of extracurricular activities. I played piano and violin, and finally found that I was best at flute and piccolo, first year before I finished middle school. And then in sport, I tried softball, I tried gymnastics, I was a majorette, none of which I was very good at, to be honest. But I think the whole trial and error process of even just getting a little bit better at majorettes, being able to catch the baton when it went in the air, or getting a little bit better in gymnastics, instead of getting 4s and 5s, I might have gotten a 6 every once in a while. And yes, this is on a scale of 1 to 10. And then finally in track and field, kind of finding my sport, but that trial and error, getting better, finding something new, applying myself, working hard at it, getting better, and seeing that really built my confidence to the point where I could try the sport that ultimately became my sport, track and field. And so, that my parents used to always say, and I'm sure you've heard this old adage, if at once you don't succeed, try again. And that's really what helped build the self-confidence for me. How about you, Jackie?
Bonita, for me, I started running track at the age of 9, and I wasn't one of the best girls, but I love the sport. I love being out there, and I love showing up every day. And I went to my first competition and I finished last. But I said to myself, if I can improve a 1/10 of a second, if I'm running, or a 1/2 an inch, if I'm jumping, that means the work that I'm doing is paying off. And I realized that my times were getting better, but 4 through 9, you get all these different color ribbons, and I'm getting better. But then the 1, 2, and 3, they're always on the podium, and they get hardware. So I had to build my confidence up to the point where, okay, it's great having these multicolor ribbons, but now it's
you want some hardware.
I want some hardware, and not realizing that the top 3 would put you on Olympic teams. And so that was a part of my confidence. And, it's something that we both can relate to. I don't know if you can, Bonita, because you were a natural. Having the confidence to do 3 steps in the hurdles. That takes confidence, because you don't want to do. And once you figure those 3 steps out, oh wow, your world
You're right.
is on fire.
I never even fell until the summer before the Olympic Games. That was the first time I ever fell.
You know, yes. So it's like, well, I would take 5 steps when I first started learning how to hurdle, but once you get that confidence, that trust, attack the hurdles, the 3 steps, and wow.
So I love that, because I think confidence is having trust in yourself and trust in your abilities, right?
Yes.
That, you know what, I did the hard work, I did what I needed to do. And I always felt like there were three Americans in the women's hurdle final, and one of them, Pam Page, you probably remember Pam, got last place. But I thought, you know, last place is 8th best in the world. And, you know, just because she put herself out there and she kept on going, she has nothing to be ashamed of. You can leave it all out there on the track, and you have the confidence to just say, you know what, no matter what the outcome, I'm just going to do my best. Right. And I love this idea of personal best. Yeah. And I think that the gentleman earlier talked about, you know, what does it take? How do we stay into it? Focus. Well, that confidence of trying to set, like you said, that half an inch, that 1/10 of a second, just kept us motivated to try to say, the nice thing about track and field is you can go after your personal best. And even if you got last place, even if you didn't make the final, if I ran faster or jumped farther or higher than I'd ever done before, then, you know, ultimately that means that I've gotten a personal best or personal record, and I can have something to be proud of.
Right. And I think also too, and we are reminded, you know, because we are humans, but you know, when you train, no one trains for second best. I mean, last place is okay, but I don't care about being 8th best in the world when I could be number 1. And that's what you know, that keeps you going. That motivates you. That inspires you, you know, that, okay, I'm going to say it's okay. Yeah, right. We're going to go back with my team and we're going to figure this out.
Figure this out. Yeah. We're going to get better. Absolutely. Well, I would love to hear from those of you, you know, what are the lessons, you know, what has happened in your life that helped to build your self-confidence? So just open up to the group, whoever, maybe wave your hand or just unmute, and then we'll call on someone to share a story of when you, something that happened in your life that helped to really boost your confidence. And I'd love to be able to see the entire group, but
I can give a brief story. So on 9/11, I was an intern at the U.S. Capitol, and I remember being evacuated, and I had just moved to D.C. I was maybe a week into it, and didn't know anybody, but getting through that was a good confidence builder.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
I was in New York on 9/11. I can imagine. But I was with some friends, and I think that's what helped me get me through it. And I couldn't imagine being there all by yourself. Anybody else want to share a story?
I can go. I'm trying to think of like a specific time, but it's more of just kind of like a general timeline, I guess. It was probably like the first year, like freshman year of high school, doing track, and I had always just loved sports, and I had done swimming and basketball, all that, and that freshman year, I was so close to making it to like the state qualifiers, and I just got beat out by one person. I just remember being so devastated, but my coach was like, he's so amazing, and him alone really helped with my confidence. But then also too, that situation of kind of being down, he really put it into perspective. He's like, look, this is your first year doing it. Like, you've come so far. And just to have somebody in that moment to just be like, look, I know track and you're going to be fine. You're doing great. Like, I'm so proud of you. And him kind of continuing that on through my time being on the team with him and everything. Yeah. Like, he alone was super influential in me gaining confidence in myself and my abilities. And so when situations where like failure would happen, he just really helped turn that into something that I can keep in perspective and be proud of.
Well, I think that's perfect. And, you know, coaches are so integral to our success and our development. I know you talk about, say, gosh, my best, experience or achievement feels like it's in high school. Well, guess what? My high school coach, and I'll tell a school story in a little bit, was integral. If it weren't for her, I never would have made it to the Olympics. So I think that those folks in your life, early in your life, have play such a pivotal role, beyond your parents, of course, and loved ones, but really key. Most people will say, oh, my coach this or my coach that, right, was a pivotal person. So thanks for sharing. All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, when I was like 10 or 12, I was very different than the people in my school. And I remember I wrote this letter about chemistry to this guy named Linus Pauling. And Linus Pauling was a Nobel Prize winner and one of the great chemists. And I kind of lectured him about what I thought something about chemistry. And he wrote me back saying, well, this is a really good point. And from that point forward, he would correspond with me a bit. And in chemistry, he was kind of like Einstein was in physics. And I kind of realized that even if the people around me don't agree, there are people who do, and to not let the people who don't appreciate something discourage me and think that I'm not good enough.
Right.
That's a great life lesson. And
yes.
Go ahead, Jackie.
No, I think it's very important to always believe in yourself, because you can turn a doubter into a believer as long as you believe.
So the next one we wanted to talk about, and this is the one we kind of did a combo, right, Jackie? Because we felt like they were so intertwined. Courage, determination, and grit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, courage is not a lack of fear. It's doing it in spite of the fear, regardless of whether you're afraid or not. Sometimes you just got to dig deep and find that courage, and that in and of itself, having that determination.
Right.
People like to use the word grit these days, but it's kind of that combination of just having courage, facing fear in the face, doing it anyway, digging deep, being determined no matter what obstacle gets in my way. I'm going to do it no matter what, the guy said in my, class at 10 or 11 years old. I'm going to do it anyway. It's okay. And that's what courage is really all about. Having the determination to do what's necessary in order to achieve our goals. And that's key in an Olympian's life, in an athlete's life. When we competed in the Olympic Games, there were, sometimes 80, 90, 100,000 people in the stands, of course, tens of millions watching on television. And what we had to do is just have the courage to say, I don't care what's going on around me. I'm going to focus in on the job I have at hand, and I'm going to do it anyway. So my first story is the 83 World Championships. It's the year before the Olympic Games. It's the first ever World Championships in Helsinki. Jackie remembers how freezing cold it was out there. It was raining.
In Helsinki.
Oh, I know. We have real PTSD about Helsinki, honestly. And both of us were still college athletes. We were arch rivals at UCLA. She was at UCLA. I was at Tennessee. So we had a hard fought collegiate season that year. I think I was in Provo. NCAAs were in Provo that year, Utah, and UCLA and Tennessee finished 1-2 in the team championships. Anyway, I digress. So it's 83. We're at the World Championships in Helsinki, and it was after this long, hard-fought collegiate season, and we hadn't really totally understood how to taper and peak and all that stuff for multiple championships. And so it's at the World Championships. It's late August, and I ended up getting 8th place in the hurdles. And like Jackie said, 8th place wasn't feeling too good. I know it's 8th best in the world, but I knew I was much better than that. And so I sit down after the race is over. They'd taken our sweats at the beginning, and they bring your basket to you under the stadium. I sit there putting my sweats back on, and the girl that got in 5th or 6th place, Shirley Strong from the UK, was putting her stuff back on, and someone came and bothered her about something. And so she picked up a cigarette and started smoking. And Jackie and I knew, back in the day, European athletes, a lot of them smoked, but they didn't necessarily A, kick your butt, and then B, light a cigarette in front of you right after the race. Like that was just like adding insult to injury. And here I get last place, you beat me and you smoke. So I sat there and I said to myself, you will never beat me again. And so fast forward a year later, we're in LA, we're in the Coliseum. It's the between the semifinals and the finals, which was about in 2 hours between those races. And so, because we're, 100-meter hurdles, just so you know, you're running over 10 hurdles, the length of the football field. I ran that in 12 seconds. So it's a pretty fast race and lots of power, but you can come back 2 hours later and run into the race. Well, I'm going back from the track up to the warm-up track. And who should I see sitting next to a fence doing what? What was she doing, y'all? Smoking, cigarette. Just taking a cigarette break in between semifinals. I mean, just like really, like I'm going to see my massage therapist, my coach, and take a couple extra starts. And she's smoking, she's chilling. I'm like, okay, I'm so happy you reminded me. So long story short, she and I were neck and neck in the race, and we get to the 5th or 6th hurdle. I could tell I'd shaken everybody else in the race, but Shirley was touching down just before me. And I was just saying to myself, not today, Shirley, not today. And I think God put wings on my feet, and I passed her and I beat her by 4/100ths of a second. So it's enough daylight between the two of us that you could tell that I won. But that's literally the blink of an eye. And so, I don't care, 400ths, 4 seconds. I don't really care. I got the gold medal. She got the silver, and she never beat me after that either. So Jackie, I know that, it took a lot of courage for you, not only at the games, but prior to, when you first started.
Yes, I would say when I think of courage and determination and grit, the courage to travel from East St. Louis to Los Angeles to go to school, to be in a whole different environment that I had been accustomed to, and but to continue to stay focused on the goals. But then also my freshman year being diagnosed as an asthmatic, afraid that maybe I might lose my scholarship because I knew I was having problems, but I didn't know what was going on. And running, jumping, and doing, and the fear of being taken away, often crossed my mind until we figure out what was going on. And the determination and the grit part of it, is that I've always been determined to be the best that I could be and to give 100% each time out, even competing on the levels with, my rival, Heike Drexler in the long jump.
That was a serious rivalry.
Yes, but always being having the grit, but then also having grace along with it. So for me, all three of them are intertwined, like trying to go from being an Olympic hopeful to becoming an Olympian, and then understanding that, wow, to be in Olympic Games and to be able to do the event I love doing. I do the heptathlon, but the single event jump, and to go up against one of the best, who they thought the world, and a lot of determination and grit. I don't know about the courage part of it, but yeah.
So tell me about the 88 games.
Yes, so in 88, after winning a silver medal in 84, and leaving those games with my brother who won the gold medal in the triple jump, and my mindset was that if, because I wasn't strong mentally, my pin injury, but then I left those games saying, if God blessed me to make another Olympic team, I want to be the toughest athlete out there mentally. So going into Seoul, Korea, and heptathlon, I had a patella tendonitis in my left knee, and I wasn't going to let that stop me, so I ended up winning the gold, in the heptathlon. But then the one event that others didn't even think I should be doing, the long jump, and coming back and going up against Heike, because she's supposed to win 100 to 200, the long jump. And I wanted to relay, but I didn't care about any of that. I'm thinking about what I have to do in the event, in the long jump, not even worried about Heike. My goal was always to focus on myself, what I needed to do. And on my 5th attempt, put a jump out there that became the Olympic record, and it still stands today. And
put an exclamation mark on it.
Yeah, this gold medal I share with some of my kids around here is older than all of them, So
if you can show yours, I can show
yeah.
mine. I don't know. Can you see it?
Yeah. You see the different color ribbon.
There.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
But this is so good. Hard work.
I know. Really hard work. So, like I said, courage is being afraid and doing it anyway. It's not a lack of fear. And I want to, ask the participants, when did you face your fear head on and show that determination and grit and that courage in order to overcome that, in order to achieve whatever it is that you wanted to achieve? I can't see everybody, so if you just want to start talking, that's good too. Sorry about that. I can only see a few. It looks like Anna's trying to turn herself off mute.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi. Yes. So for me, I think it was 1992. So it's actually Olympic year, Barcelona, but nothing to do with Barcelona, except that Croatia that year proclaimed independence, and that's when the war started in Croatia. And Croatia was the silver medalist in the basketball in those same games.
I remember that.
Yeah, and I was 16 years old, and the war started just that year because of the separation. And the same year, my mom died. So it was like really like a tough year. Just getting like a bit emotional. And that's the year that I started rowing. That was the year where it was so funny in a way because we had all these curfews and limitation in movement in the city. But at the same time, the sport just kept going. Yeah. So the rowing clubs, obviously, you do the sport outside and you go on the lake. And that was all in the midst of the potential attacks and all this. So this was the year that I actually started, and that helped me go through a lot of shit, I would say, that came that year. And it just pointed me in the direction in my life to have that courage and resilience and also the grit and say, well, fuck you all. I'm just going to have like really... I'm going to make sure that all these experiences make good for me. So that was my year when I literally decided, okay, I'm going to be stronger than all of that.
Absolutely. And, wow. Yeah. That's serious. That's amazing.
I can't follow that.
Anybody else? Christine, Des?
Yeah, I'll do one.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so recently, my littlest sister got diagnosed with cancer, and it's pretty serious. But I see that she's become so positive and so focused, and nothing bothers her, and she so wants to help other people. And I just think to myself, like, wow, like, in her worst moment, she's her kindest and most humane to other people. And like, wow. I don't know how she does it. And it always inspires me just to think about it.
Yeah. I mean, facing any kind of illness like that takes a lot of determination and grit, and obviously courage. And she's making you feel better about it. And you're supposed to be making her feel better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Anybody else want to share?
I can share.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was there, I think 2 summers ago. I had an opportunity to kind of study abroad in Vietnam. And this would be the first time I really kind of flew and traveled abroad, other than like Canada. Well, I guess I'm in touch. But I was going by myself for 3 weeks, and it didn't really hit me because there was a bunch of stuff that was going on right leading up to it. So I remember being on the plane, like I'm over the Pacific Ocean, and just being like, oh my God, I am doing this. And it was like really scary at first, but I'm like, even if I wanted to, I couldn't turn back. So I might as well just embrace the situation.
Yeah,
So,
you're like, let me off the plane.
Yeah. So, and then like, and the layover to Japan, kind of like mustering up the courage to, because I had such a long layover to leave. Like, so I left the airport and like explored Japan. And so trying to like use the maps in Japanese and everything. So that whole situation was definitely a test.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to do goal setting next, if you guys are up for it. One of my favorite sayings is conceive it, believe it, achieve it. You know, if you can think about something in your mind, if you can truly in your heart of hearts believe that, you can accomplish it. And that's Jackie was saying, the difference between her silver medal in 84 and her gold medals in 88 was the fact that she got her mind right. And goal setting is getting your mind right. It's envisioning where you want to be, what you want to accomplish. It's, really in your heart of hearts believing, yes, if I put in the hard work and dedication, I can get there. And ultimately, whatever level of achievement you get, it's way better off than if you'd never set the goal in the first place. And so the Yogi Berra used to say, if you don't know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else. And, we have to all, no matter what, athletes, of course, you're going to set some goals. You're going to assess those goals, and you're going to, get a little bit further, and you're going to reassess, and you're going to work, like Jackie said, work with your team and figure out what went wrong. And, we are always setting goals. I used to put my little goals in my shoe to make sure that it was close to me when I got on the track. But you got to do that. You got to envision where you want to go. As a freshman in high school, and sometimes other people envision it for you and kind of plant that seed in your mind. And I think for Jackie and I both, that's what happened young in our lives. I was a freshman in high school. My coach was Ann Lockett, and I had a girl on my team named Paula Gervin, and she was a senior. She was a neighbor. She's a family friend. Our parents were close in the Lions Club together. And of course, she and her younger sister were really good friends of mine. And Paula ended up making the Olympic team in 1976. And that was my freshman year in high school. Yes, I'm aging myself. I'm old. But she was the end of my freshman year in high school. And to see Paula make that team was so inspirational. After seeing her win 4, championships at the state meet, leading our team to our 4th straight state championship, she turned around and made the Olympic team on top of that, icing on the cake, right? And Coach Lockett turned to me that summer and she said, Benita, you are as talented as Paula. You too can make the Olympic team. And it was such a tangible thing for me because I saw my friend, my teammate, make the Olympics. And sure enough, 4 years later, we were on the 1980 Olympic team together. I remember being in a parade in our hometown. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go to Moscow because President Carter boycotted those games, but we got a Congressional Medal of Honor. We got to go to the White House. We got, these wonderful celebrations all over the country. And so to be with my high school teammate on the Olympic team, a fulfillment of our high school coaches' dream, but also, of course, a goal that I had set for myself at 14 years of age was something else. And then 4 years later, to achieve the ultimate goal of winning that gold medal was a result of really a few weeks before, after I'd made the Olympic team, standing on the track after practice one day, thinking to myself, kind of basking in the Knoxville sun. I was training at University of Tennessee. And I thought to myself, I can win the gold medal. And I kind of claimed it that day. I said, that's no matter by hook or by crook, I'm going to win that gold medal. And of course, beat Shirley Strong, the smoker, in the process. But had to, set that lofty goal. Sitting there on the track that day, it really just dawned on me, that is my ultimate goal. I'm not just going there to run well. I'm not just going there to get a personal best. I'm going there to claim my gold medal. So Jackie, I know at 14 years old, we were having a similar experience with our coaches.
Yeah, when you think about back then, for me, I started running at the age of 9 and went through the phases of being on the grass, to the podium. But then now at 14, your coaches are telling you to watch the 76 Olympic Games on television. And it's like, wow, okay. And I remember seeing Evelyn Ashford, who had cornrows in her hair, and they put the university at that time, it was UCLA. And so I went back and I asked my coaches if I could, make the Olympic team. They said you had the ability, but I had to be willing to work hard. And so from there on, I set my sights on, trying to make the Olympic team, and had the opportunity to go to the Olympic trials in 1980, but finished 8th in the long jump. But for me, the goal setting is so important, just as important as having the confidence, and everything builds up on it. And to be able to go from making the team to winning my first silver medal, which is okay, but when you can be the best, you always want gold, So, and then going on to make my second Olympic team and winning double gold in Seoul, Korea, and then have an opportunity to do it a third time, and
a fourth time. Thank you very much.
Yes. So goal setting is to me, it's the beginning, the middle, and the end. And no matter how great people say you are, if you in it, you have to figure out a way to keep pushing. You just have to keep pushing, because someone is always coming after you. But then if for my attitude, no one could outwork me. So as long as I was on the field, I wanted to be on the field in the best shape of my life.
Something you said about Evelyn Ashford and seeing her looking like you, right? Seeing someone who looked like you with braids in her hair, just like you had. And you saw UCLA. You probably at that point didn't know what a UCLA was, but you just thought to yourself, if that's a school that she goes to, I want to go there, right? If you can see it, you can be it. Right?
Yeah, you can see it and be it. I wanted to be in the sunshine where it was warm, because growing up in the state of Illinois and running in the cold or snow, like, oh gosh, yes.
So I'm going to wrap this up a little bit, because I know we're running a little bit out of time, but I want to talk about service, because I know that's near and dear to your heart. And, whether we're serving each other, our families, our schools, our communities, it's empowering others to win in life. And that's where the kind of winning in life curriculum came from for you, is really wanting to find a way to empower those children in East St. Louis to win in their lives. And so for me, the gold medal is the gift that keeps on giving. And so I have wanted to pay that forward through my life and by working in leading nonprofit organizations, everything from Women in Cable Telecommunications, to being on the board of the Women's Sports Foundation, to helping literally 29 people win medals in life at the London Games as chief of sport. I ran an organization for youth called Laureate Sport for Good for 4 years, the most recent 4 years of my life, really devoting to kids in underserved communities, giving them a sport experience, but also helping them win in life. And Jackie, I just really would love to give you this chance to talk a bit more about the foundation, because I know how near and dear. I mean, you're sitting there in your office at the foundation right now. You're there every day. It's a 70,000 square foot community center that you built there in East St. Louis on I don't know how many acres. I mean, this is a huge thing. And the community center went away that you grew up in, and you decided, these kids need the same opportunity I had when I was growing up to have a safe space and caring adults. So tell us about it, and a little bit more about why you started.
Yes, so the Jackie Joyner-Kersee Center, when I started off through a community center at a very young age, and by the time I got to college, I lost my mom unexpectedly, went back to that center where I knew I could find love, but the doors were, there was padlocks on the doors. So I started thinking, where do the young people go? And at that time, I really started trying to figure out how I could reopen that center, not knowing that it was going to take resources to do so. So it wasn't until I had gone through my first Olympics and then my second Olympics using my own personal money, to invest into different organizations or different groups I had been involved with, because I felt I needed a building at that time to help people. So in 96, we broke ground on the Jackie Joyner-Kersee Center that opened in 2000, where we do after school programming. We do, when I say we do door-to-door transportation, we pick our students up from school, bring them to the center. They come into the doors. We start off with feed them, get a warm meal. Then they go into the enrichment. The enrichment incorporates the winning in life principles. So we work on life skills. We have a reading specialist because we want to make sure that each and every one of our kids can read at grade level. We do the math and the science. We have a partnership with Park District where it's a greenhouse. So we are working on doing some agricultural with our students, teaching them to plant a seed, to nurture it, and then to see it grow. And, this summer they've been able to eat some of the zucchini and all the different things they've been growing over there. And so, and for me, it brings it all home to have the confidence to want to do this, the determination and the grit behind trying to find the resources to not just build a center, but sustain it.
It's more than an idea. It's more than a notion, right? It's a
day-to-day grind, having a great staff and a great board. Today, as I finish this experience with each and every one of you, I'm headed out to the golf course because we practicing safe distancing and everything. But that's one of our fundraisers today is our golf outing. But then to continue this work, in the COVID, we started our summer camp, and our young people are just really engaged and learning, and education is really a part of everything that we do. And so for us, this is my life work. As I said earlier, it culminated into a book called The Kind of Grace, and a curriculum around leadership and character development has come out of this called Winning in Life, this Winning in Life experience with all of you.
Well, that's just beautiful. And, this is an experience, part of the Olympian and Paralympian experiences that IOC and Airbnb are doing. But this particular one is a giving back experience. And so we're giving back to you all and love to do that. And we've been doing that our whole career, is really giving back to others and paying that gold medal forward. But you can see the link on the screen if you want to learn more. If you're in East St. Louis or around the area, please do, get on site, learn more about the foundation, find out a way to help if you so choose and want to donate. The proceeds from this experience are going to the JJK Foundation, but if you want to donate, you can go to the link and, donate that way. For those of you on the YouTube experience, there's a button there that you can press to donate to the foundation, and I'm sure any and all size donations are welcome. So that's the one little commercial I'm going to do for the day, but it's for a great cause. She's doing really, really amazing work in East St. Louis with all the kids there in that city and that community. And I'm just so proud of you and in awe of you, honestly, for what
I'm proud of you, Bonita.
Yeah.
Because you're fighting the battle, and as we talk about equity and equality and fighting for women athletics, so we can continue to be on a playing level field. And so not only what you have accomplished as an athlete, but then on the professional side, that continue to make a difference, for generations to come.
Thank you. Well, my mantra, is trying to get people and organizations to win gold medals in life and business. And so, that's, if I can do that, that's, leaving that legacy is really the only thing that makes sense for me, Yeah. So what I want to do is, even though I told my family that they had to be quiet, all of a sudden now my printer is working in the background. So someone in the household is printing right now. But so if you hear that noise, I apologize. What I want to do is I want to turn it to the participants in the experience right now. Go ahead, Jackie. I can't hear you. Okay. So participants, I want to really talk about a service challenge for you guys. So when you respond, I want you to do two things, because I really do want to hear of a time when You set a goal for yourself that came to fruition. But in this particular case, I also want to hear, how can you best focus your time and talents to empower others to win in life? I mean, it's really important to take the gifts we've been given, the knowledge we've been given, the access many of us have been blessed with, and find a way. It doesn't have to be some big grandiose gesture. It's identify someone in your community, a friend, your sister that's battling cancer. It could be a schoolmate, a church member. What kind of unique talent or interest or access do I have that could help and empower that person help them win in life? Pick one organization or a person that you can help, and really envision where you'll be a year from now. You've been helping this person. What impact have you had on your life? What outcome came from it? Kind of envision yourself a year from now having achieved that and having devoted your time and attention and talents to that. And then, what action will you take in the next week, right now, right away, to help make that vision become a reality? So I know that's a lot. So really what I just want you to tell me is, who you think you're going to serve, how you think you're going to do it. And if you also want to share, a goal that you've set and achieved in your life besides service, that's great. But first start with the service goal. Love to hear from each of you. So everybody just take a turn. I'm gonna start calling on. I'm gonna call on Chantal first since she's my buddy.
Thanks. No, it's a tough one. I think for me, something I've been thinking about and need to get down into greater detail to action it is, I think it can sound really exotic. Anytime I speak to anybody that went to my middle school, high school, or college to be living in Switzerland, working for the Olympic Committee, it sounds very exotic and exciting, but I want to try to be more engaged with those groups to break it down as to how I got here. It wasn't luck. It was a lot of hustling. It was a lot of side jobs to pay for to make it happen. So I think for me, it's trying to, do more outreach with the communities back home to break down the mystique and show kind of practical steps and things that these younger groups can do, not to get to where I am, but to make the most out of the opportunities they've got. So that's something I want to do more of, to just help break any limitations that kids are putting on themselves, and they don't have to be there. They just need to know that the sky's the limit, and then how to get to where they want to be.
Absolutely. That's really great. Anything you're going to do in the next week you think you can do to start pushing that forward? Well,
the first step just is finding out who to contact, how to do it. And I think it's going back to my schools and just making myself available and saying, I'm here. If there's anybody that expresses an interest in this field of study or in international, something like that, I just make myself available. And then also I think frame out my offering or what I would like to do a bit better so that it's clear. Right now, when it comes out of my mouth, it does not sound clear at all. So I think that's the first step, is just trying to clarify the value add or what I think I can do, and then trying to make that known and available.
Great. Who's next? Christine, how about you?
Absolutely. As far as a unique talent or gift, I tend to have a knack for making do with what I've got, and sort of the do-it-yourself mentality, and just being able to, help others see that, we can, take what we have and make something great and glorious from that. I write, and so as with COVID going on and schools being impacted and so many kids' lives especially being impacted, being able to, I believe, just as a short-term goal, really continue to push out the message that, online activities, not needing, big software packages, that there are actually ways to, help create music, help, learn something new, a new gift, a new lesson, a new session, talks that, they could hear and, hopefully be inspired by. I would like to continue working on, and I am, finishing up a book, and maybe we'll see where that goes as far as being able to take that and hopefully inspire kids especially to question and also be able to, plant that seed and make it grow no matter what the seed is and no matter where they're trying to grow that seed. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Des, you got something for us?
I work for a children's hospital in Sydney in the fundraising department. So I originally came from a promotions and marketing background in media for many, many years. I might give away my age, but I've been in the hospital for the last 5 years. And to say it's a rewarding job would be an understatement. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. I get to meet some of the families. I work with these amazing people who are literally saving people's lives. And to think that I'm contributing to their job, to put these people literally back on their feet is reward for me. And it's a fantastic opportunity. And as I said, it's just extremely grateful for it. I'm very lucky, and I suppose I'm in that unique position where it's not a job. Yeah. It's just this wonderful opportunity where I work with these, astounding people, professors, some amazing, talented people right around the world. And for me to think that, I'm contributing to that is just gold for myself. So that part I love. And you talk about long-term projects. One in particular is mental health for kids, for children. It's a big issue, certainly for Australia, but right around the world. And I've got a couple of concepts and stuff that I'm trying to develop where I want to use some of the knowledge that we have in our Western, certainly for Australia, and help some of the countries, kids in Asia. Obviously, they're a little less behind in terms of technology and resources, and I think that some of the basic knowledge and concepts and some of that knowledge that we have can be adapted and brought into, because they're just under-resourced. Yeah. And so I think it's just a wonderful opportunity for us to be able to share and to help some kids. Yeah, so that's my project.
That's awesome. Anybody else? I know I missed.
Just really quick. Oh,
you first.
Just really quickly, I was going to say I've been part of this organization called Civic Dinners, which is really great, and it increases dialogue amongst people with all different opinions on a variety of different topics. And with everything going on in the world, I think it's really great. They have topics about like healthcare, racial equity, education, all kinds of things. The other thing I was going to mention is that I'm very passionate about helping women and minorities start businesses. And so I'm starting a nonprofit foundation that also helps to bring funding to the underserved populations. So 2 things I'm very passionate about.
You're already in the thick of it. That's great.
Yeah.
For me, it is, I feel like our country's on fire right now, and I want to do everything I can and volunteer to help people register to vote, because we're less than 100 days away from a really important date that's going to change all of our futures.
That's really important work. I'm with an organization called the Links Incorporated, and that's one of our main goals for this next few months. I'm on the subcommittee that's doing just that, registering people to vote. Really important for us to exercise that right that so many of our foremothers and fathers fought for, right?
Yeah, we put a link where we can see about your work and maybe help out.
Oh yeah, I'll look at it. I'll look it up. The links.org, actually, links.org.
Okay.
links.org. Mm-hmm. All right. I think we missed 1 or 2 people. And then I wanted to round it up by just asking if anybody had any questions. Anna, we didn't hear from you. We heard from Chantal.
Yeah, I have no really, like, I'm trying to think what are my unique talents, but I don't think I have any, nothing unique. But I've been engaged in my local community with a lot of little things. It's nothing major, but like just helping out neighbors with some of the things during the COVID crisis. I would have to say that Switzerland is not anymore in that fire burning situation, so it's a little bit different here. I don't know. I'm supporting my friends with children if I can. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have any kind of bigger goals. I wish I kind of feel
I think that's, I mean, really, you're helping Chantal win in life when you help give her a little bit of a break from her. Yeah, I mean, that's helping her win in life. Trust me. Trust me. Well, I want to open it up to questions. For Jackie in particular, or me even. Anybody have any just burning questions they want to ask?
Yeah, I have a burning question for both of you guys. So you've accomplished incredible things, but can you tell me one time where you kind of, things went bad and it was really discouraging and how you came back from that?
Wow.
What?
I could go.
Go ahead, Jackie.
I would say my first Olympic Games in 1984, I was picked to win the gold medal, and I was dealing with an injury, and my leg was had a bandage on my leg, and so psychologically, that meant something must be wrong, and I took on that attitude throughout the 2-day competition, because in between each event, I should be eating and replenishing my fluids, but I was so focused on what wasn't wrong, but in my mind, something was wrong. And I ended up losing the gold medal to Glennis Nunn from Australia by 5 points. And that experience taught me to not focus on other people, but to focus on myself. And that, so every day I would train knowing what that feeling felt like. And I didn't ever want to feel like that again, because I second guessed my team and everyone else, and I had the power to change what was happening. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, guess what? I got Glennis Nunn back for you, because she also ran the hurdles. And I beat her in the hurdles for you. So. I had you back, Jack. I had you back.
Yes.
So for me, it was personal. It wasn't something on the track or business. I was married quite young at 22 years old, and my ex-husband and I divorced 6 or so years later, and I had just retired from track and field, trying to embark on an engineering career. I had an engineering degree from Tennessee. It was just a horrible kind of time of transition, losing my identity as an athlete, losing my identity as a spouse, trying to regain and create a new identity for myself professionally, all at the same time, financially, being devastated through the divorce as well. And so fighting my way back over that next year was really, really important to me. And I think sport kind of gave me that identity back in a funny way. I went to work for Special Olympics International. And I think kind of understanding that I could do sport and service at the same time, I think gave me a different sense of self-confidence. It rebuilt my self-confidence. It gave me motivation to say, get outside of my own circumstances and think about those of my Special Olympic athlete friends and colleagues. And so service got me out of my own troubles, focused on something else, and knowing that whether I was on the track or not, I had something of value to give back to somebody else. And so, a few years later, I remarried. I'm still married to my husband of 24 years. We have 2 kids, 16 and 21. Everybody's home right now. Yeah. So, bounce back and, from a relationship standpoint, but my life went from really rock bottom in so many ways to build my self-confidence back up to a point where I could meet marry a man like the one that I have in my life was really important. It was a pivotal moment. I'm quite frankly thankful to my ex-husband for letting me go so that I could really find my life. Yeah. Any other questions?
If I could, not just a comment too. I think on the service part that's really sticking with me is it's I think one thing I appreciate so much in both of you is leading by example. And I said a point on service and I immediately didn't like what I said, but it's because I think it's an important part is how you live your life in a way that inspire, like when you have gifts and you recognize potential that you've got, to not let it go to waste. And just by doing that and living in a way that you're making the most of the gifts you've been given is really inspiring. And that's what's so special in speaking with both of you legends, is just seeing people that have lived to their full potential, and just in doing that is providing service to others. So thank you for that, causing that reflection, and for the time today.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.
Here, everybody. Well, I know we're 10:15. Jackie, did you have any? Well, Eastern time. I people from all over the world. We've been on for more than an hour, and I just really appreciate it. I just want to see if Jackie had some closing words for everyone.
Talking about service and everything that we all do. One would be that something we always use in the athletic arena with my husband who coached me. He always would tell us those who know why would always be those who know how. And just remember that you share shall multiply, and that you hold back on will diminish.
Absolutely. Yeah, giving of yourself, that's the best thing you can do. And so that's why you wanted to, we could set goals all day long about, careers and everything else. And certainly we need to do that. But I think the legacy that all of us really should be trying to leave behind is how we've impacted others and how we've helped others win in life. Jackie, you said something a couple of days ago that really stuck with me. You're trying to help those kids with your foundation, make the impossible probable.
Yes.
And so I want to leave everybody with that. Think about things that in your life that you feel like might be impossible, and use your goal setting, use your courage and your commitment, drive and determination and grit to turn impossible into the probable. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Thank you particularly to those who donated to JJK's foundation, and either through your participation today with the experience or by hitting the donate button on her website. So thank you so much, everybody. It's been great.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Blessing. Much gratitude.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.